Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Thursday Night Reading Sprints. I'm very happy to be joined by Sharon and Paula. It feels like it's been a while, you two, since I've had you on screen.
It has been a while.
Has.
It's very nice to see you both, even though we've summoned Sharon and poor Sharon has COVID. So if you need to depart, if you need to depart at any point to chill, then we won't hold it against you, definitely.
It's fine. It's just every now and then I'll start talking and my voice will just go. So
yeah,
Carl was like this a couple of points this week. He was like, "Have I gone deaf?" And I'm like, "You wish, you wish."
No.
That's what COVID did to me as well. It totally wiped my voice out when I had. I've only properly had it once that I know of. Maybe had it other times, but the specific time I did it was really painful. Actually, my voice just disappeared.
I don't leave the house, Amy. I haven't left the house in a month. So my husband's infected me, so he tends to keep quiet whenever I'm ill.
I got COVID before it was like, there was a vaccine or anything, and I was ill. It's like they thought it was like a extreme like form of bronchitis, but it wasn't. It turned out it was COVID.
I never had it when it was during the old plague. I never got it.
Mm-hmm.
I was shielding, so I never got it. And I've had it twice since we all went back to normal. The first time was worse than this. I expect my body's used to it now. It's uncomfortable and I'm tired and but
and because you can't work, because you work from home, you can't get rid of it. Well, you can't go. You still have to work.
And everybody's like, and my manager's like, "Why are you at work?" And I'm like, "Well, because my bedroom's 10 feet away. If I need to collapse, it's different, isn't it? If I was in the office, I wouldn't have been in." So
you still need.
I'm also stubborn. I'm also far too stubborn to give in to anything.
Shocker.
So let's just quickly jump to the comments. There's a couple. I think Stephen put this on earlier.
Stephen.
Hi, Stephen, if you're here.
Hi, Kay.
Okay. Hey, Kasha. We were just talking about you before. I think it was before we went live. We were just saying that Kasha has an enormous haul of books from Yark.
Mm-hmm.
And a new shelf, I think, might be needed for the amount of books that Kasha got. And you've got a fair few, Paul. Your stacks are behind you, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're good. They're good, impressive Yark stacks. I wish I'd looked at the hardcovers. I do have regret because there were some good hardcover sales.
There were, but there were some extortionate sales as well because they were like, sprayed edges for £45. I was like, no.
Okay, that's what I was hoping for, so I feel better now. I meant to go and look and I just ran out of time.
It looked great fun. I'm very sad I missed it.
Yeah, well, I hope that you can come at some point, Sharon.
Okay,
it is really good. Fingers crossed Sharon will be well soon. Yes, I can't wait to watch that.
No, I still need to film mine. I'm going to film it tomorrow.
Me too.
I was just saying before I came on, I didn't buy any books, but I took, I think, 5 to get signed. 4 or 5. I tried to be really good just because Nathan needs so much stuff to go anywhere for 2 nights. It was like we had if anybody saw us, we had a suitcase as big as Nathan, absolutely full of everything, including a steering wheel because he's just got into car racing games. So we took a steering wheel from the hotel because we knew we'd have a bit of downtime there. So he's been playing on Mario Kart in the hotel. So it was like steering wheel to entertain small child or extra books for me and steering wheel 1.
Yeah. Anything to keep the little one quiet.
Exactly. But he did really well. He had one meltdown at one point as we were just walking into the green room and it was really full. And all the authors like getting ready for events. And there was just this tiny person having a meltdown. I was like, I'm going to have to take him out at some point if this doesn't calm down. And luckily he did calm down. All the staff just ran over with chocolate and crisps like, yeah. This will help.
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming for a little person, isn't it? All those big people. So he did really well.
Do you
He
know
only
what?
had one meltdown.
He does really. Yeah, and I think he senses sometimes that I'm nervous too. Like if I've got a panel to do and things and I'm buzzing with nerves, I think he can feel it. But he managed to watch me do some stuff, which was really nice. I wasn't sure whether he'd managed to actually sit through the panels and things and like not heckle me. And then he came up on stage at the end both times and said, "Mummy, you did really well," in front of all the panelists. Still, we just went, "Oh." Yeah. Lex Brown just said, "Oh, we missed a trick there. He should have been up on stage with us." I was like, "No, you don't need that." But yeah, it was quite fun. I think a highlight for me. I got
a great time.
I got to sell Jonathan Stroud. That was pretty fun. And then did a panel with him afterwards. That was
we went into the panel, but we were like right at the back and we could not hear you, so we just ended up leaving the panel because there was just no point in.
No,
because we couldn't hear.
Apparently the sound wasn't good on the Saturday right at the back, and they sorted it by the Sunday. For whatever reason, there was I think they weren't getting people to turn off the microphones in between, so there was interference. But Sunday the sound was good. That's the only problem with it being 2 days. If there's when it used to be 3 days, like you could get stuff like that ironed out on the Friday and then it'd be fine by Saturday. But with it being 2 days,
I don't know if I could cope with 3 days though. And is it back in summer?
Yeah, no, it's
or next year, or is it staying in winter?
I don't know whether this has been announced. I think it might be winter again, if I remember correctly. I heard some little whisperings that it was going to be, which I actually liked for the heat. It wasn't as hot as it is in the summer.
I prefer the winter.
I did miss the 3 days, but like you said, I think the Friday it's a bit difficult. Like for Kev's work, it's tricky and it's a long. Like after 2 days, I was exhausted, so 3 days might be a bit much.
Well, it took me 2 days just to like flat on my back to like actually like function like a human, because my back just, even though like Chris was pushing me around in the wheelchair, it was just constant and reaching for things and doing things, and my body's not used to all that movement. It's used to just sitting and reading.
Well, I'm glad you managed to come, and I appreciate you being there. Paul was very nice and came along to my workshop that I was really nervous about talking about, because I don't often stand and just talk about myself and my own experiences. Normally I'm talking about books, so it was weird to talk about my experience because it was called From YALC Attendee to Author. So I kind of talked about like from attending every YALC to kind of being a YALC author. And it was really nice, actually. I was surprised at how many people went and wanted to talk about how they want to be an author and stuff. So it was good.
I think the bookish community is one of the communities as well that we want to get to know people. We actually want to have a connection with the authors we read. Do you know, it makes us enjoy it better. I think that's really unique in the bookish community. That, do you know, where you can actually just message an author and they'll usually get back to you. It doesn't happen in anything else, does it? When you think about it. But I think next year, Paula, we should get tandem wheelchairs, you and me, and we should just take over.
Yeah,
I think with like 2 wheelchairs together, you could clear a whole aisle, couldn't you?
Do you know what I mean? We're coming through. Move.
It'd be nice because, like, there's the thing of like when you're in a wheelchair, you become invisible in a crowd. It's like they because like you're below everyone's eye line, and you just become invisible, and it's just like. Especially on Saturday when everyone was there and everyone was like at the booths and everything, it's like we couldn't get a look in for Love Not Money because there was just no way that we could get there. So I'm glad
I'd have just rammed people out of the way, but then that's me.
You can't when you're not the one driving. Now, if it was an electric wheelchair, I could just nudge on the throttle and just be like, "Oops, sorry."
I've got an electric one. Yeah.
I'm surprised. I couldn't believe it when you said that. I feel like I try and be extra mindful if I see somebody who's got difficulties with accessibility. I'm like, I feel like I'd go above and beyond as opposed to just not looking.
No, and then there's the people that talk to Chris, who's like pushing me around instead of talking to me when I'm the one that's actually like talking and having the conversation. They'll talk and speak to Chris, who's pushing me, and I'm just be like, I asked you the question. Hello.
They reduce you to a child, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So they spoke to you like they spoke to the person who's with you like they're your parent.
Yeah.
I'm ambulatory, so I use and don't use a wheelchair. So it's the difference when you actually stand up is massive.
It shocks me. I just can't even imagine.
Mm.
I'm sorry on behalf of other people who.
I don't think they do it intentionally. I don't think there's malice in it.
No.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I think people could just be a bit more mindful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I managed to get all my books signed except one. There was no way made that I was getting in for the Samantha Shannon signing.
Oh, was that a big queue?
It was huge.
Oh, see, I didn't.
What was Yvette Fielding like?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I keep bringing that up and then going off on tangent. She was really lovely. I have to say, 2 celebrity authors there. Jay, I keep forgetting his name, who's in The Wanted. I met him as well.
The Jay
McGuinness.
That's the one. Thank you both. It sounds really good. And both of them I had a good chat with and were absolutely lovely. So can confirm celebrity authors aren't always like how you might anticipate. They were both really down to earth, and Yvette Fielding was very fun and very charismatic and had great stories in the panel. And I didn't see Jay McGuinness speak in the panel, but I did chat to him in the green room, and he was just really nice and like a normal person, feeling a bit nervous about going on stage and chatting about his book, because we've got the same publicist and one of our editors sort of crossed over the anthology one and for his book. So yeah, it was nice actually to kind of. I wasn't sure what they'd both be like, and they were really nice.
It's very different to what they do in their day job, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean,
very different to what they do in their day job.
Yeah, it helps the fact that they've been a public figure, but it's different. I wasn't sure if you were live, Stephen. Hello. I never know when people put the comments on before. Yeah, I mean, you did do a lot, Kasha, as well as 2 days at Yalk, and then home was a lot, and then you did all the like traveling. And
yeah, you did the
longer journey to get there.
Yeah, the red, white, and royal blue bonus tour, which I thought was hilarious. I can't believe how close you got to Stonehenge, because the last time that I saw it, it was all fenced off. So, because Stonehenge is a place that I would actually want to go to.
Yeah. We couldn't get very close. When I went, it was, you could walk around the stones, but at a distance. You couldn't get right up to them. I know at some times of year you can get a bit closer, can't you? But
yeah.
Okay, so I think we've caught up on the chat, caught up on the comments. Important question.
You used to be able to when I used to go in the 80s, in the 90s. You used to be able to walk right in the middle of them.
Yeah, you used to actually go and be able to touch the stones. Now you can't do anything.
No. So what are you both planning to read? Important question. Sharon, what scary thing are you reading tonight?
Wow. I'm firstly going to carry on reading this one, which I'm really loving.
Yay!
It's such good fun.
It's really fun, isn't it?
Oh my God. It's such good fun, isn't it? So I'm going to read that for the first sprint, and then I'm moving on to this one, The Pale House Devil.
I like that cover. What is the picture?
Which is a little signed novella. Psychic Investigations.
Ooh. What's the picture of on the cover? I like that. That's gorgeous.
That does look cool.
So this is about 2 paranormal. It's neither have I. It was in the Abominable Book Club box, and it's about 2 paranormal mercenaries. One of them's dead and one of them's undead, and they go and help people clear out bad things from their house, and they get called into a demon in a house who turns out to be far more than he is. So yeah, it's good. I think this one's a signed copy. So
nice. That sounds like a lot is packed into that short book. Excellent.
Yeah, it's the first. The writing's really small, Amy. Small writing.
Oh. That's maybe not as quick to read. Not as quick as it looks. What are you reading, Paula, tonight?
Well, I'm still kind of in a reading slump at the minute. Feels like I can't sit and focus on reading, so audiobooks are the way to go for me right now. And I'm currently going to start the London Science Society, if it'll focus.
That sounds good.
She's my book club's pick. If I can find Big Bad Me on audio,
Little person shouting me.
Mummy,
Yes,
it's
dear,
time. I
little
want
Mummy,
you.
Mummy.
Bless.
Sorry, I just lost you for a minute there, Paula.
It's fine. But yeah, audio. If I can find Big Bad Me on audio, I'll choose. Well, start that as well. But we shall see.
Excellent. Yeah, I don't know if it's. I feel like it has an audio book. I'm not sure. I feel like I need to summon Ashley into the chat, but she's not here. Sorry, I got distracted because little person started shouting at me from upstairs. So the first thing I'm going to do is go and try and put somebody to bed. But I did send Mina and the call for copy edits today. Hooray! So the bulk of the work is done now, and I just need to do I've got 2 more rounds of edits, so the copy editor and the proofreader, and then I'm done. So tonight I've got a few admin things to do. I've got to send a couple of emails, send an invoice, do a few other things. And also, I don't know whether either of you do this, when I'm working on a big project and I have ideas, I always end up like making little, like loads of Word documents of, check this, check this, check this. So I've got a few things that I've thought I need to check later. So while the copy editor's got it, I'm going to see what notes I left to myself that I need to sort out and try and sort them. So Stonehenge just completely opened. That is so cool.
Oh, wow.
I need to have a look, like whether it's a permanent thing or whether, because we're actually, I don't know, we're driving past there fairly soon. I need to check because I'd really like to see that. Yay! Hope you are enjoying it. I think it seems to be a popular pick for the book club so far. I really liked that one. It was good fun. Definitely plenty of blood in there. I mean, that is
different.
Yeah, I love that.
Although Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is quite dark, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, Roald Dahl does tend to go there, doesn't he, to some dark places. Hi, Amal. Yeah, I'm having a weird...
Ashlyn tweeted that the audiobook is coming in 2024.
Oh, okay, I thought I'd seen that there's an audiobook.
But the cover looks cool.
Oh, yeah, that is cool. Nice.
Right, finally focused.
And we've got Amal, who 32%. Nice.
You
have to let us know how you get on with that. I haven't read that Leigh Bardugo one. I've read quite a few of hers, but not that yet.
I haven't read that one.
Okay, I'm going to mark where we're up to comments. I am going to disappear upstairs and see what's going on up there. So we'll turn my camera off for a minute. Fingers crossed I'm back quickly and I can get on with some admin stuff. So I'm going to do 40-minute sprint, a little bit of chat, 40 minutes, a little bit of chat, and then 30 minutes to end. Hopefully I'll be back soon. I'm going to pop the timer on and then turn my camera off, and I'll see you all in a little while. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good sprint. I was upstairs for most of it, sorting out Little Person, so I didn't do very much. So I managed to get 2 emails sent and start a couple of admin things, which is fine. It's life, isn't it? How did you get on, Paula?
Well, I didn't start the London Seance Society. I'm finishing Hex in the City by Kate Johnson. I know. It's a witchy book. Could you have guessed? A couple of chapters of that done. I've almost finished. I'm enjoying it. It's the second Kate Johnson that I've read. So, yeah.
Did she write Hex Appeal as well? Was that
Yes.
the other one?
Yeah, that's the one that I read before.
I thought so. I keep seeing those.
Yeah. Fun.
I like the witchy book. I've just started reading, I always get this wrong, The Secret Society for Irregular Witches, is it called?
Yeah. Read that for book club. It's really good.
It is good.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've only read the first chapter or 2. This seems to what I'm doing with all books at the minute. I'm reading like a little bit and then abandoning to do other things. But yeah, hopefully I'll get that one read this month. So which do you prefer out of the 2? The one you're reading now, or do you prefer the Secret Society one?
It's different. This one's kind of more grown up, but also predictable. The Secret Society for Irregular Witches, it's more found family kind of. I mean, grown up characters, and children looking after children and that kind of thing. So they're very different. I can't choose between. Yeah.
Fair enough. I won't make you choose.
Good.
How about you, Sharon? Was it Big Bad Me you read during?
Yeah, I've nearly finished. I've probably finished that in the next sprint. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's really good. It's so well written, isn't it, Amy? Do you know what I mean? You always kind of it's just reads so well. It's an easy read, and I mean that in the best possible way. Do you know what I mean? It just kind of flows.
Yes.
And I'm
and the
really
2
enjoying
narrators
it.
are very good. Do you find sometimes with the book with 2 narrators that you like one of them more, so you kind of skip through the boring one? Like, I don't feel like that's the case with Ashlynn's. Like, I like both of them.
It's such a because they're sisters, obviously, aren't they? So it's very familial, isn't it? And that kind of sibling rivalry going on.
Yeah.
And the kind of banter between them is actually really as entertaining as the actual storyline. So I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to finish that probably next sprint. I'm a bit ahead this month, aren't I? Yeah.
You're doing well. I think I'm a bit behind. I haven't read that much of it yet. I've kind of not been doing the weekly prompts as much, so I don't think people are using them. So I'm just kind of encouraging people to read at their pace. But then that's making me not actually get around to reading it. So I do need to speed up a bit. But I'm sure I'll get there.
I think the problem is because I'm so busy at work. My work's so busy between Monday and Thursday. I really can't do much reading those days because I'm mentally too tired to do it. So when I get to like Thursday night or Sunday, I'm reading maybe 5, 6 or 7 books in those days just to get my reading in because I get antsy if I don't read. I'm
constantly reading, but when it comes to books for book club that you want to talk about, I tend to leave them closer to the date where you're going to be talking about usually. Them. Because I have this thing where it's like I read constantly that names, places, plots just kind of like see ya. They just fall out of my head, which is why I have to take notes when I'm doing book club books and review books and things. Otherwise, I'd just forget everything.
I don't tend to forget. I tend to remember. I tend to remember stuff, so I don't. It doesn't go out my head. Once I've read it, I can remember every book I've read. But that's just because I've got a weird brain. But I tend to leave it to the end, just because. I don't know. I usually leave it to the day of book club discussion. That's when I usually read it. But I just fancied it. I started it last night for about an hour, and I just really fancy. You just fancy something. I'm not much of a mood reader. I tend to read according to plan, but I just fancied it. I thought, that seems like something a little bit kind of easy from what I usually read, which is extreme horror. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, really.
I'm excited to get.
I've had a really rubbish year for reading. Sorry, Paula, what were you just saying?
I was just saying that I hope that, my slump doesn't stop me from reading it. I want to read it so bad, but
I think it could get you out of the slump. It's that nice. Sorry, I think we're on a slight delay, so I'm ending up talking over you. Sorry, I think it's my end today. Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it's very Moorish and readable, like Sharon said, so maybe it'd be good for a slump.
Okay.
I've just found that I'm out of the habit of reading at the moment.
It's really easy to read, Paula.
Yeah. Because I'm writing all the time, I'm not really reading. So I think over Christmas I'm going to try and get my reading habit going again, because I miss it. Like you, Sharon, I do get irritable when I'm not reading. I think I need it. It's it balances me out.
I do. I think it's an addiction. It's like, when it's an addiction, if I don't read, I'll read every day, at least something. And if I don't, I get really aggravated. And I'm also doing a book advent for Christmas for December. So I've got 24 books I've got to wrap. My husband's going to number for me. So I'm looking forward to that. He's bought me the most beautiful paper. It's like blush pink. So pretty. So I'm looking forward to that. Not that I'm reading a book every day, because I ain't got time.
Oh, that'd be the life, though.
If I didn't work, that's it. That's all I do is read.
Yeah, I could do 25 days of reading. That might just reset this really manic year I've had. That would be good. That's what I'm going to do. Christmas, I'm going to try and obviously play with Nathan, but read quite a lot instead of writing quite a lot, because I should be mostly done with Mina 3 by then, and I'm not going to pick up anything new. Once I finish this, I'm just going to have a little break, because I haven't had a break for actually years, an extended break.
It.
Thank you. I've even been on holiday. I've been taking my laptop on holiday with me for the past 2 years, so it's just ridiculous. I need to not write. I need to switch my brain off for a little bit, I think.
That's the writer's life, isn't it? It's because you have lots of ideas, and then they all come to fruition at the same time.
That's exactly this year. Literally, normally I've got one project on the go at once, and this year I had 3, and I'm going to try not to do it again, because I talked to Kindara Blake about this, and she said that kind of the more, it's hard to explain, but the more opportunities she had, all of a sudden they all came at the same time, and it was a case of juggling them. And I think when the less opportunities she had, it was easier to manage. So she's happy to have the opportunities, but then it's just a lot to deal with. So yeah, I'm not complaining, but I'm also just learning to juggle a bit better.
It's getting used to the pacing, because your first book, your first book, you have loads of time, don't you, to get it right before you start looking to publish. And then after that, everybody's giving you timelines. So it's getting into that headspace of that.
I think it's got to be so much more pressure.
Really difficult, and some
it's got to be so much more pressure, especially with a series, because you want to keep readers interested. You've got to, you don't want to fall into second book syndrome, and then it's got to be tough. I mean, if it's a one and done, then but I think a series has got to be so much more difficult to write than a standalone.
Yeah, I've written a standalone this year and Mina 3. The standalone I sort of finished this year, and then Mina 3 I've written the full thing, and definitely the standalone is easier because I can keep it all in my head. It's harder. The series, there's so much backstory and kind of previous baggage that you've got to navigate, and then you've got to wrap up in a satisfying way as well. And actually, so far, the wrap up for book 3 seems quite quick. I thought I was going to have a Return of the King situation, The Lord of the Rings, where the last hour of the film is just visiting all the characters and seeing how they are. But actually, so far, I'm going to touch some wood now. It's ended up quite neat, which I'm surprised at myself. but maybe it's because I don't want it to quite end. We'll see. Maybe it won't be the last. I think it is.
And also, you've got to remember that people really love these books, Amy. So if you did something wrong in the third one, they tell you. You can't say that because in one, this is what happens.
The pressure is real. So far, there's only a couple of things that I've gone back and read bits and books too, and went, yeah, he doesn't live there. Like, because the living situation's a bit fluid. Like, people move in and out, and like Della has a home with her dad still in book 2, but then, and I was like, where does she live? Does she like live with Libby, or is she living with her dad? So some of that was hard to keep track of. I'm sure people will tell me if I'm wrong. I haven't noticed any mistakes yet, though. I've just reread book 1, and I'm on book 2. And I haven't noticed any continuity errors yet. So we'll see if I can get through 3 books without them. I'll be quite impressed if I do. Let's see how people in the comments get on, and then we'll jump to another sprint and see if I can actually get some writing done, although I've got a feeling I'm going to have to go upstairs again. Ooh, I haven't heard of that book or author. I like the sound of A Solitary Fortress, though. That sounds very, very interesting. What genre is that? Is it? It sounds kind of like it could be
fantasy.
Horror. Yeah,
sounds fantasy to me.
I don't know. I'm leaning into the horror. Like, what's
fantasy,
happening?
Political intrigue, kind of.
Yeah, sci-fi.
Yeah. Do you know what? If I remember right, it does take a little bit, Kasia. It's really short too. I don't know whether you need to maybe about around the page 100 mark. I think it suddenly goes whoosh and then it's off. The first chunk is definitely getting to know the characters and like exposition and developing the world. Oh, interesting. It does sound a little bit of Let's Encounter. Oh, you're not enjoying that one? I still haven't read any Robert McCammon. He is on my list. Yeah.
Yep.
Me.
Yeah. Whenever a new book comes out in a series, I have to start again from book 1, even if it's like an 8-book series or even a 23-book series. I will have to start again from book 1 all the way up to the new book.
See, I don't ever start again. I can't remember anything, but I don't start again, and I spend the first 20 pages going, who are they? What do they want? How are they related to each other? Where Sharon's like, nope, I understand, I know it all. That's right.
I like immersing myself back in the world again. I love rereading anyway. But yeah. So yeah, I think it's easier with trilogies and stuff, and a 5 to 6 book series. But yeah, there are some series where you're just like.
I know. Well, Anita Blake, I think I'm on about book 4 of that series, but I think there are 30 of them as of this year. Like the 30th one's about to come out. That's wild. Like, can you imagine thinking, I can't remember book 1. I'm going to have to just.
Well, the thing is, book 1 is so completely different to how the series ends up. Because it's like book 1 is, all set up of like who the characters are and the necromancy and this, that, and other, and then it just turns into a spicy sex harem kind of book of a series of I'm gonna screw all the things, all the mythological creatures. Yeah,
that hasn't happened yet. I don't think she's actually had sex with anyone yet. I think
you wait.
Like,
which series is this? Sorry.
The Anita Blake series. And so Anita Blake is one of the earlier vampire series, because when I started writing Mina, I had to look at like the timeline of when stuff came out, like when did Buffy come out to when did that come out, and True Blood. And actually True Blood was kind of later in the game of those. Anita Blake was quite early compared with the other stuff. And I think Vampire Diaries was quite early too. And then obviously Twilight was like right at the end of all of it. Yeah, Anita Blake is it's like adult Buffy-ish, but like Paula said, apparently it takes a turn. I haven't got to the spicy stuff yet, so maybe I don't know how much I can cope with the spiciness. I might have to
it does get quite intense.
If it gets too spicy, it might be too much for me. Oh, that's good.
Absolutely.
Big Bad Me. That's good news. Excellent. I assume this is YouTube editing.
Ooh.
Whenever I hear editing, I think book editing, but I'm guessing that that's YouTube. That's exciting. Oh, Last Citadel is fantasy. Paula was right.
So,
excited for you.
that's why I don't read. I tend to avoid books with more than one book in it. I don't like trilogies or anything like that usually. I haven't got the patience to wait. I am quite a lot older than you, though, you see, so I'm nearer death. And so I don't like to start something I might not finish.
To answer this question, I've read The Fourth Wing. It was a 3-star book for me. It's not worth all the hype that everyone. I mean, if it yucks your yum, fair dues. You know, if you love the book, you love the book. I personally don't think it's worth all the hype. I will read the second one because, you know, I'm a glutton for punishment. But I do like the dragons. I do like the dragons in it, so I will end up reading it again.
I don't think it's my thing, but at some point I may I tend to books like that, get a chapter of it on my Kindle and see what I think. And if it's not for me, then I don't have to read the whole thing.
It's like Sarah J. Maas light.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, I'm probably all right, but we'll see. I've not got massively into Sarah J. Maas yet, but again, I'm willing to give it another go. Yeah, that is a really good idea. I know there's some Fictional Hangover write really good summaries of books, and I know a couple of other websites do it as well. That is a good point. I need to remember to do that. Is that the Fourth Wing one?
All the ones in the comments, or all the ones that we're talking about.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're enjoying it. No, I mean, you could be. I wasn't good enough to start with. It took a lot of practice. But yeah, I always get, because I am editing at the moment, I just assume that everybody else is doing what I am. And I have to go a step of no other ordinary, I don't know, people who are sensible, who are not trying to write books, and maybe not doing editing. Wouldn't recommend
most fantasy bores me. It's not.
There's not enough gore in it.
There's not enough. Well, no, it's just. I always find the stories a little bit weak. I either like really high fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, which is one of my favorite books of all time, or cozy fantasy. The other fantasy that's in the middle, and a lot of it's romantasy, and I can't stand that. So it's just not for me at all. So I just find myself getting a little bit bored. It's just not the right genre for me at all.
Am I right in thinking that there's some Goodreads controversy with the whole they've stopped, for the Goodreads Choice Awards or whatever, they've kind of nixed a few categories and brought in a romantasy character.
They've got rid of romance and fantasy and joined them together. So it's a romantasy category, and there's a big palaver. So
no, but they've also
a lot of people like fantasy.
Yeah, but there's still a romance and there's still a fantasy. They've nixed poetry.
Oh, that's a shame.
Young adult and middle grade.
What?
There's no young adult or middle grade.
There's fiction, historical fantasy, mystery thriller, romance, romantasy, fantasy, science fiction, horror. Oh wait, there is young adult fantasy, young adult fiction. It's middle grade that they've got rid of. Debut novel, non-fiction, memoir and autobiography, history and biography, and humour. They've got rid of middle grade and poetry. And I think there's another one.
I love middle grade. There's some fantastic middle grade books.
See, middle grade should be there. And also, what's about young adult fantasy and then everything else?
There was young adult fantasy and then young adult fiction.
Fiction.
Young adult fantasy and young adult fiction.
Yeah. That doesn't seem right to me, but I'm not.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I mean, I do like dragons, but I'm with Sharon. I think fantasy books are not mostly my favorite. Oh, so that's the same. Yeah, I think the same here. Some of them are, but less. Yeah, I think I'm probably the same.
Everybody likes what they like. At the end of the day, don't they? And so you find the thing that suits you.
Yeah, but things shouldn't be. Things shouldn't be excluded. Even when you've actually kept a romantasy and a fantasy section, you shouldn't make a romantasy section and then discount others.
So there's no manga or graphic novels anymore either.
Yeah,
According
no.
to Kasha. That's a shame
And
too.
that's alienating for loads of people, isn't it? Including like young readers who a lot of them that's what they read. Agreed, Raymond.
See, I like
If
the
there's too much
confusion, see,
world building,
Raymond. Yeah, I like the confusion. I like to have like 50 characters all doing different things because that's just like a puzzle in my brain, and I love that. I'm an accountant by profession. Do you know, in my head, I need lots of things so I can puzzle it out. So something with lots of characters, that's a joy to me. But I understand why it would be awful for other people. So, you know, that's why there's so many different choices. That's why we're also lucky to have lots of different genres.
Very true. And that's a good note, I think, to go to the next sprint on. So let's go and read all of our different genres. And I'm going to go and see if a little person's asleep. It's gone. Ooh, Kev's venturing out, so maybe he's asleep. So fingers crossed I might be able to get
My
some
little
work
one's
done
asleep.
Oh, good.
Oh, is he?
Oh,
that's good.
I counted my
Kev looks
books.
like asleep.
I bought 36, not 26.
Oh.
You're only a little bit out, love. Only a little bit.
Only a little bit. 10 out. It's fine. It's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, what's 10 between friends?
Exactly.
Okay. Enjoy you too. I will see you all on the other side. Hello. So that was the second sprint. We've got one more to come. How did you get on, Sharon?
Yeah, I had to go off for a little while because husband came back from work and to sort some stuff out. But yeah, not long left to go. I think I'm going to carry on and read that now and start the other one later.
Why not? I think if you're enjoying it, you might as well just lean into it. Read what you're having fun with. How about you, Paula?
I have carried on with Hex in the City, and I have one chapter left. It's like less than 5 minutes, so I'm like, would have liked to have finished it in that sprint, but hey ho.
Last sprint, you'll get it done and then start something else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I managed to go through and separate out my chapters because I always end up with like most of my chapters are between 1,500 and 2,000 and odd words, maybe up to 2,500. And some of them occasionally I'll get like a 5,000 word chapter and I'll think, what did I do there? Like, what was I thinking? I think I probably wasn't thinking. It's one of those where I've added stuff and it's morphed over time and I've just not realised. So yeah, I had one 5,000 word chapter, so I just had to figure out where to split it. But I've done that and I've renumbered all my chapters. There are 55 chapters in this book. That is it. That job's done now. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you. Me too. I'm starting to feel like it's a book. Like it's nearly there. There's still some silly things that I need to know, but they are silly things now as opposed to massive holes in the plot. And Kev and I always bounce ideas off each other, and between us we've had an idea of like another fun little reveal for near the ending. So that's always good. Like that's happened today and it's coming out in a few months. So
won't be long. Won't be long.
Excited.
Gosh, I'm looking forward to seeing this one in the physical because I always wanted a teal one. Like right from the beginning, I was like, I want a teal and turquoisey one.
It's such a pretty colour. Such a pretty colour.
I'm hoping. I think they'll look nice together as well. It'll be nice to have all three. I think I'll probably have a little cry when I see all three of them. Like this is the product of so many years' work. Like since 2016, I've been thinking about these books. It's a long time, isn't it?
Mm.
And then move on to something else.
Ugh.
Another accountant in the house. I've got one right next to me as well. I mean,
that's a different thing. I feel, Adrian.
Yeah, that could be its whole other category. You're just wishing horrible things on these people. Yeah,
you must be so close to the awful bit, Kasha. You must be so close to the goal now.
Yeah, you are because you're nearly halfway through, I imagine.
You're right next door.
Yeah, next door to the goal. Keep going. Nearly there. Just a little longer. Well, I think
longer.
It's time to go to last sprint. I can feel us all getting a little yawny. And,
a bit tired. Long day.
Well, if either of you need to head off, that is fine. I'm going to keep going for another 30 minutes.
We're good. We'll stick it out.
I'm off tomorrow. I can stay in bed.
It's my birthday tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday!
Happy birthday for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you doing anything?
Well, my birthday present was Yalk, so no, but I am going to be like on stream, just doing like reading sprints, gaming, just random, just being online stuff.
That sounds fun.
On because I'm off tomorrow, so I'll come and read sprint with you.
Yeah.
Well, if you're on in the evening still, I'll be there, but otherwise I'll be childcaring tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be starting until later on.
Oh, having one of those reads.
How is The Haunting of Adeline? Because I've heard such things. I'm like,
It's weird, isn't it? Sometimes how you're not enjoying a book that much, but you just want to know how it ends. It's kind of done its job still.
Yeah, I ended up reading Den of Vipers just because there was so much going on about it, and I'm like, I really shouldn't have read Den of Vipers. I should have just been like, yeah, fair enough. But no.
I can't force myself to read. I'll give it something about 50 pages. And if it's not grabbed me in 50 pages, then I'll just DNF. I haven't got patience to read about it. I can't force myself. But some people are completists. They have to in their head.
Yep.
And I understand that too. I just can't. I'm just like, no.
It's like even when I feel like I need to DNF, I feel like the book will defeat me in some way. So I have to beat the book. I have to finish it. How dare it try and beat me? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can only DNF if I absolutely detest it.
Yeah, I'm with Sharon. If I'm a bit bored by 50 pages, I'm done. And it is around 50. I tend to 20 or 30, I start to get a feel that this isn't for me. And then if by 50 I'm still not sure, sometimes I keep it. Like there is the odd book where I know I definitely want to get rid of it, and I do. And then others, I'm like, this is maybe just a me now thing.
Well, yeah, it's just not right time.
Yeah.
But also, I read a book the other day that I downloaded from Kindle Unlimited. I only got 3 pages in, and the writing was so bad, I had to stop reading.
Is that the one you were talking about on your? Yeah. Okay.
The premise of the story was fantastic, but it was so badly formatted and edited, I couldn't read it.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, it was so disappointing because I'm sure it's a great book in there. Because the premise is fantastic. I just can't.
The author, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I did actually contact the author, because they sent it to me, asked me to read it, and say, I think you've got a few formatting errors and editing. Do you want me to edit it for you?
Bless you.
Because he's an indie author, right? So do you want me to proofread and edit for you? So I'm probably going to do that.
Oh, that's nice of you, Sharon. Especially when you see the potential there. It's such a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, do I want to read it? Is this like a good it's something else, or is this a please don't read it? Okay, in that case, I won't read it. Got it.
It's one of those books people either love or hate, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like like Belladonna's another one. And when I watch anything online, people either really love it or they hate it. It's proper Marmite, you know? Yeah. See, I love that. See, because that's a really complex story. I love that.
See, I didn't like it, but again, I can't let a book beat me. So I ended up reading it. I read it all, and it is a chonker.
You could take somebody's head off with that book. It's this thick, in it.
It's a long book to push through with, that one.
Yeah, especially if you don't like the writing style and you just don't vibe with it. So, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Not getting that time back, love. Not getting that time back.
No. Right.
Yeah, it's the thing.
I do understand. Okay. Right. Let's do the last sprint, 30 minutes, because it's somehow 9:45. It's very late. My contact lenses are going blurry, so this is the point too where I know that I need to go to bed soon. So I'll pop the timer on and we'll see you at the end. And this is the last one. Oh, can't believe that was half an hour. That went way too fast. I did get most of what I wanted to do done, but I might work a little bit more. Even though I'm tired. How about you, Paula? How did that one go?
Good. I finished Hex in the City, and I was going to start London Science Society, but I decided to see if my slump was going to stop me from reading Big Bad Me, and so far, no, it hasn't. So, I'm only a chapter or so in, so it's fun so far.
That's a good sign. Yeah,
yes,
definitely fun. Did you finish it, Sharon?
Last chapter, mainly because the cat wasn't. Everybody got a love review of my cat's bottom. I apologise for that. And she decided to climb over me, which is why I can't have my office door open when I'm working, because every Zoom meeting, the cat's in the camera. One of them. So yeah, I've got a chapter left, so I shall finish that in a minute.
Oh, fab. Yeah, I managed to go through. I've got this really old netbook that I take away with me to write, and for some reason it loses some of my word spaces. I don't know why. So I end up with whole chunks of text with like missing spaces. So I just had to go through and put all the spaces back in. Not every single word, just odd ones. It's really strange. So I did that, and Kev's done some edits for me. So I've been typing up Kev's edits, bless him. And that's what I want to finish, because I've only got a few pages left, and if I can kind of keep up with him, it means that he doesn't get miles ahead of me, which just doesn't seem fair in my own book.
It was nice to see. It was nice to see Kev at York. It was nice to put a face to the random ominous voice or comment.
Yeah, or a bit of like
bit of body,
limb, random limb.
Yeah, it's nice. I do bring him out every now and again.
He sat behind you the other week, didn't he? Looking like for the Men in Black. Yeah.
Yeah. And he hid when I started speaking. He just like slid down and pretended that we couldn't see him. Oh, Kasia, you got so close.
Night, Cash.
I got to meet Kasia again in real life the other day at York. That was so nice.
I think
you two got to talk to each other, didn't you, Paula, as well?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
I think we're doing the Evil-a-thon reading sprint all together next week, Amy, on Kasia's channel.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
You, me and Shelley. So that'll be fun. I've never been on with Shelley.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm seeing her in real life at the weekend. It's like a real time for seeing people in real life. It's been a while.
Oh, I'll give her a hug from me. I love Shelley.
I will, me too. We've both had a mega busy year. We normally try and see each other every month or two, and I think I've probably only seen her once or twice this year, just because she's moved house and I've worked on loads of books and had a child start school and son started uni, and it's just been.
I wish she would have made it to the York, but I understand with like the house move and getting things sorted that wasn't possible.
I'll try and tempt her back next year. I tried this year, but I think I started a bit too late. If I maybe get in early and start chipping away now.
The next time I go up to see my family, I'm going to go over and see her.
Yeah,
they're up in the Midlands. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'd be lovely. Yeah, I'm the same.
It's a great novel. Yeah.
I've tried to read the novel and haven't managed. It's really long, but I absolutely love the TV series. I've forgotten his name, Jonathan Rhys-Meyer, is it? Who was in The Tudors and Dracula and various other things. He's excellent in it. It's very creepy. It's got like a slight Game of Thrones vibe, like the setting and the world building, but without the murderiness of Game of Thrones.
I thought it was a decent TV series based on a book. They can often be hit and miss, can't they? But I thought it was quite decent, to be fair.
Yeah, growing up, I think one of my favourite teachers recommended that I read it, and was really miffed when I preferred the TV show to the book, because I think it's one of his favourites. Maybe I need to reread it, because I was probably in my tweens when I tried to read it, or my early teens. So maybe not.
It is one of those books, like it is one of those books that you've got to get into the language of it. It's got it's a heavily gothic feel to it, so you have to kind of get into the language of it, and sometimes you've got to be in the mood for that, haven't you?
Yeah.
I want to read some meat over Christmas. I need to decide what I'm going to read. I was thinking a Stephen King book, but know, Gorman Gas could tell me. I think I still have a copy of it somewhere.
See, me and Stephen King, we don't vibe. I don't know what it is.
Stephen King.
I don't know what it is. We just don't.
I
really like the fact that if you read his early stuff, it's quite obvious that he was very badly addicted to drugs, and then and then you have a period of time where his writing is incredible. During that point, he wrote 11/22/63, which is the best book he's ever written, and then now he's gone back to kind of a weird mix of fantasy horror, which I don't like as much as his early stuff. So it's kind of fascinating to see that kind of progression, really. I mean, I love his horror.
I love the adaptations of the things that he's done, like the Carrie and and even like the TV adaptations. I can't remember the name of it right now. But anyway, but yeah, every time I try and read a Stephen King, I can't get into it, so I might try the 11/20 whatever you just suggested.
11/22/63 is the best. Have you read that, Amy?
I haven't actually. I watched. Is that the one that James Franco was in, the adaptation of it?
I don't like the adaptations, so I've never watched any of them. But it's the one where he finds a portal to back in time, and it's just an incredible book. I literally read it in one day. I couldn't put it down.
See, I think that is the
best
one.
writing, as far as I'm concerned.
I really liked the adaptation of it. I haven't read the book. I like it when Stephen King sticks to one thing. So I really liked his Mr. Mercedes books. I think they are great thrillers, and I like the ones that are very clearly, distinctly horror. I don't mind when they're very clearly, distinctly thrillers. As soon as Sleeping Beauties I tried reading, and it just seemed to me a mixture of too many things. I'm not sure about it. And I don't fancy Fairy Tale. I read the back of it and just thought, not for me.
I mean, I've got it. My husband bought it me, but I've got no inclination to pick it up because I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm always going to pick up his old stuff. His pure horrors. Do you know what I mean? I'll reread it every year, and Pet Sematary, and Salem. I'll read those, all the time.
Adrian's just jumping in support of Salem's Lot, and I love that one too. It's quite slow to begin with,
but
when the horror starts and the vampire starts kind of appearing, it's really good. Yeah, David Soul.
I love David Soul. I agree with you completely. That shows my age. I used to have David Soul posters.
I'm also terrified of clowns, so that's why I wanted to read it and not watch the TV adaptation. But I ended up caving, and I gave it 2 stars, and I ended up watching the series. Watching the thing with Tim Curry.
I do like the movie adaptations, although I didn't like the CGI loads, but I really, really love the TV movie Tim Curry version. He's amazing.
I think the TV is probably the only one I've actually liked.
I haven't watched the newer ones.
I love Tim Curry. I just think he's wonderful.
And
John Boy Walton, obviously.
Yeah, the whole cast are really good, and I think that it is quite true as far as adaptations go, because it's got the length to it, because it's a mini series. It did capture a lot of the good stuff about the book and leave the bad stuff out that should never be anywhere.
Yes.
The scene we all know about it. If you're a horror fan, I think the bit where Stephen King went a bit rogue.
I have to say though, when I read that scene the first time I read it when I was in my teens, I didn't even notice it was that bad. Do you know what I mean? To me, it was just part of it, and I was just like, "Oh, that's okay." And I kind of, it was such a short scene. I kind of went over it. Really, it's only when you reread it later on you think, "Oh Lord, what was he smoking when he wrote that scene?"
I think it's the age of them thing. I just wonder whether at some point they were a different age or something. And it's like sometimes I do stuff like that. Like I change the ages of characters. Like there's a child in my book, in book 3, like a new character's a dad and he's got a kid. I don't know where I got inspired by that. And I did like how old the child was quite regularly, and like he went between 3, 6, and 8, and I settled on 6 just as like a midpoint. So I do wonder if like they were teenagers to begin, like they were in, you know, late teens. It still would be bad.
In fairness, they read as teenagers. The actual characters and the way they interact and the way they speak read as older, because of course the time it was based, children of that age in that area of America could be married. So there's a different kind of, it does feel like they're older kids to us reading it now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, well, Chris reads Stephen King and he's like, Chris likes Stephen King, but he's like, I like it, but it feels like he doesn't know how to finish a book. And that's his opinion, where he's just like, he enjoys the story, but it feels like, he says that he feels like that Stephen King doesn't know how to end a book or end a series. And I don't know how true that is.
The best, not for me, but I think the best books for me are when everyone dies, because that's it's far more realistic. You know, if you've got a book where horrendous things, horrific things are happening to people, you just wouldn't survive. Anybody, it's not realistic that they would. So to me, that's more real. If you know, if at the end everybody dies, it's more real.
I would say that the Green Mile adaptation with like Tom Hanks and I've forgotten his name now, but that did make me cry.
His short stories are great. I mean, you know, the one that's got that in, and The Night Shift is one of the best short stories collections I've ever read. And there's great, the Lawnmower Man's in there as well.
Yeah, I really like Different Seasons as well. Different Seasons is really good. They're more like novellas, aren't they? But that's got like Stand By Me and An Apt Pupil and Shawshank Redemption, although it's not called that, it's called something else, isn't it?
Yeah, he writes a good short story. I give him that.
Right.
And he's 104 in he now? Is he 104? Oh. He's probably a vampire, is he? I mean, he's getting on, isn't he now?
Yeah, that tracks. I think Stephen King, I think you probably like that. The people think that. It's getting late. We've had some fun Stephen King chat, but I think it's time to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up on Raymond's comment. Tim Curry is so good.
I agree.
Agreed.
Very true.
I can't remember when I'm next in Sprint, so please check my channel and my social media. Kev claims Saturday. Let's go with Kev. I'm probably doing it on Saturday. I will be editing Mina, but it'll be weird. At the end of the year, I'll stop saying that because it has to be done by very early next year. So,
and if you want to do with yourself when all this is ended, Amy, you'll be sitting there going, "What am I doing?"
You need to take time off. You need to take time off and then start a new book. You need to have a little holiday for yourself.
That's why I'm going to do a very short break and then start a new book and complain about that one instead.
And if you want reading sprints or any randomness tomorrow, I'll be online.
Yay! And it was Paul's birthday, so please say happy birthday, everyone. Maybe we'll say.
Yes, happy birthday, Paul.
Yeah, it's very sad. Okay, night, everyone. And thank you for coming on, you two. And we will see you all in the next sprint. Bye.
Bye.